From wanting some brown sugar to asking how does it feel to rebelling against the sex symbol, stay tuned while we dive deep into D'Angelo's career. Now you know, before we dive right into what happened to D'Angelo, we gotta start with the basics. Michael Eugene Archer, better known as D'Angelo, was born on February 11, 1974. Team Aquarius, I'm not biased or anything, but you know I love my Aquarians. Now, born to the son of a minister in Richmond, Virginia, D'Angelo taught himself how to play the piano as a child. Now, Archer's musical talents were discovered very early as a child. He was 3 when spotted by his 10-year-old brother Luther playing the house piano. Yeah, he was young, playing the heck out of that piano. Now, after the formation of his native Richmond, Virginia musical group, Michael Archer and Precise found success performing in the amateur night competition at Harlem, New York's Apollo Theater in 1991. Now, at the time, D'Angelo was 18 years old. He was a singer and a songwriter and multi-instrumentalist. He also dropped out of school and moved to New York City as an attempt to develop his music career. Now, I don't know if many of you know that D'Angelo was a part of a group called IDU, Intelligent, Deadly, but Unique. That was the name of the group. Now, the group IDU that D'Angelo was a part of had previously enjoyed some notice in Richmond, evenly dividing their repertoire between soul covers and originals, while D'Angelo accumulated compositions of his own and developed his songwriting skills. Now, the way he want that brown sugar, I want some young brown sugar. Now, the way he wrote that, tell me that song didn't hit home, because I had all of us brown girls going crazy. We was in the club like, yep, he wants some of us, okay? He wants some young brown sugar, okay? So you can tell by his songwriting skills, he definitely had it down pat at a very young age, as early as 18 years old. Now, the group's turnout on amateur night resulted in 3 consecutive wins and a cash prize. So, they did good at Apollo. Now, upon returning home to Richmond, D'Angelo was inspired to produce his own album and began composing material. So he was pretty excited to produce his own album, so he started composing his material. Now, as a member of the hip-hop group IDU, D'Angelo signed a publishing deal with EMI Music in 1991 after catching the attention of record executives through a demo tape. Now, I tell you, back in the 90s, if you had a demo tape and a plan, you could have made it. Now, which was originally by the group, so his demo tape was recorded while he was in the group IDU. Now, impressing EMI execs with a 3-hour impromptu piano recital, D'Angelo was signed to a recording contract in 1993. A&R Gary Harris was primarily responsible for his signing. Now, Gary Harris was like, yeah, this man got it. We got to sign him. He the next best thing, which he was not lying about, because when he dropped them hits, he was dropping them. And he just had the talent, His demo tape is what got him in the door. Now, manager Kedar Massenberg helped negotiate the contract as well. See, Massenberg became D'Angelo's manager after hearing of him through the buzz on the streets. Now, you already know, if you was getting talked about on the streets back in them days, you definitely was like a step closer to anybody else who wasn't being talked about. So if they was talking about you, in the streets about your music, you was next up. Believe that. So they heard about D'Angelo, they was like, this young dude, he got the streets on lock. So that's how he made it. So now in 1994, his first significant success came in the form of the hit single You Will Know. D'Angelo co-wrote and co-produced the song for the all-male R&B supergroup Black Men United, which featured R&B artists and singers such as Brian McKnight, Usher, R. Kelly, Boyz II Men, Raphael Saadiq, and Dre Levert. Yeah, them all my favorite artists, okay? Now, D'Angelo composed the music for You Will Know while his brother Luther Archer wrote the lyrics. Now, his brother wrote the lyrics of the You Will Know song, which I thought was pretty cool because it's like, y'all both are definitely musically inclined. Now, originally featured on the soundtrack to the film Jason's Lyric in 1994. The single peaked at number 5 on the Hot R&B and Hip Hop Singles and Tracks and number 28 on the Hot Billboard 100, okay? Now, the music video for You Will Know featured D'Angelo as the group's choir director. He reprised the role for the live performance of the song of the Soul Train Music Awards. He was killing it. Now, that same year, he wrote and produced the song Overjoyed for the Boys Choir of Harlem. Now, which appeared on their studio album, The Sound of Hope, back in 1994. Now, the success of You Will Know helped build the buzz around D'Angelo. So he was not really known until he did that. That helped, pretty much bring him to being a little known. People was like, okay, who is D'Angelo? Because he's pretty cool. I like this brother. Now, which was followed by a number of high promoted performance showcases and added to the buzz among music industry insiders. So the streets was talking. He had a buzz on the street, and he did, You Will Know. And before you know it, people started knowing about him. Like, okay, I know about D'Angelo a little bit, but I need to know a little more about him. But he started opening up the eyes of the industry insiders, and before you know it, he was making that buzz. Now, he really, really, really made it when he dropped Brown Sugar. Now, Brown Sugar was released in July 1995. Although sales were sluggish at first, the album was eventually a hit, as we do know, because Brown Sugar had everybody going wild. We was partying on that, because he was like, I want some young brown sugar. I tell you, sugar. He was doing his thing on that. Now, Young Brown Sugar was released in July 1995. The album debuted at number 6 on the U.S. Billboard Top R&B Albums chart in the week of July 22nd, 1995. It ultimately peaked at number 4 in the week of February 24th, 1996. So it took a little while for that album to rise. It spent a total of 54 weeks on the chart. Now, Brown Sugar also spent 65 weeks on the Billboard 200 and peaked at number 22 on the chart. It sold 300,000 copies within its 2 months of release. Now, the album had been selling 35,000 to 40,000 copies a week, throughout November of 95. Now, with the help of its 4 singles, including the gold-selling Billboard Top 100 hit Lady, y'all know that song, You're My Lady, and R&B Top 10 singles Brown Sugar and Cruising, I love it when we're cruising together. Now, the album reached sales of 500,000 copies in the United States by October 95. Now, on February 7th, 1996, it was certified platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, following shipments in excess of 1 million copies in the U.S. Now, he made it at that point. We all knew who D'Angelo was. He made 1 million copies? Yeah, he made it. So the album was certified gold in Canada on May 9, 2000, and its total sales have been estimated within the range of 1.5 million to over 2 million copies. Yeah, he made it. We all knew who he was. You don't gotta tell us twice. Okay. Now, he later went on to release his album Voodoo. Following the success of his debut album Brown Sugar in 95, D'Angelo went into a 4.5-year absence from the music scene and releasing solo work. So, as time went on, he took a break. I guess, he needed that time to, recuperate, figure out who he is. Because, the music industry can be very draining, So, a lot of times, these artists, they be needing breaks. They be having so many things they got to do. And just the whole machine itself is, exhausting. So, he might have needed an absence. He needed that time, and I understand that. Now, after spending 2 years on tour promoting Brown Sugar, D'Angelo found himself stuck with writer's block. See, that's a sign right there. When you start getting writer's block, that's when you know, you tired, you exhausted, and you need a break from this industry. And for him to have writer's block. Now, come on, D'Angelo. We was waiting for you to drop some more feel-good songs like Brown Sugar. I know I was waiting because we was jamming to Brown Sugar, and I'm still jamming to this very day. Okay? Anytime I want to feel good, I throw some Brown Sugar on. I blast that in my car real loud. Let everybody know Brown Sugar is still lit. Okay? Now, Brown Sugar had kick-started the neo-soul movement in the mid-90s. Yeah, I can relate with that. Brown Sugar has paved the way for the neo-soul movement. Okay? Now, opening the door for artists such as Erykah Badu, Maxwell, Lauryn Hill, and Jill Scott. But see, they was all influenced by Brown Sugar, D'Angelo. Let's call it what it is now. But see, Brown Sugar, while undeniably intoxicating, had relatively narrow ambitions. It was an ode to weed and women. He was singing to weed and women for Brown Sugar, okay? Now, whose organic throwback grooves owe more to the progressive mindset of late 80s, early 90s native tongues hip-hop than to the slick, digitized R&B of the day made by Boyz II Men and Keep Sweat. Now, the ingredient largely missing was pain. If great soul music is defined by struggle, be it political, personal, cultural, spiritual, or carnal, Brown Sugar generally lacked the ache necessary to qualify. Only damn, mother, So only that song qualified. But you ask me, you don't have to go through pain to know R&B. But I mean, I guess what they say, I'm not an R&B singer, but I know what sound good. Following the success of his debut album, Brown Sugar, which was released in 1995, D'Angelo went into a 4.5-year absence. Now, the Brown Sugar album's sound is prominently driven by keyboards, sensual vocals, and smooth melodies, while it evokes the work of such artists such as Prince, Isaac Hayes, Marvin Gaye, Smokey Robinson, and the Isley Brothers. Yeah, I hear a lot of that up in there. Now, the Quiet Storm love song Cruisin', a cover of Robinson's 1979 hit of the same name. Now, along with the album's modern aesthetic and vintage texture, Brown Sugar also encompasses the sounds of the blues, gospel, and jazz in a contemporary fashion, which I agree on. Yes, he held it down on that song. Now, the much delayed follow-up Brown Sugar Voodoo was finally released in 2000 on Virgin Records after the EMI Records group was absorbed by the former label. Now, Voodoo received rave reviews from contemporary music critics, who dubbed it a masterpiece and D'Angelo's greatest work. Interesting. They were trying to say Voodoo, his album Voodoo, was his best one. But see, I don't know about that. Now, in 2001, Voodoo won a Grammy Award for Best R&B Album at the 43rd Grammy Awards, which was awarded to D'Angelo and recording engineer Russell Elevado. Now, that's cool. Now, although he won those Grammys, it was that same year that D'Angelo's personal issues had worsened, affecting his performances. So, that same year, he was going through a lot, okay? He became more conscious of and uncomfortable with his status as a sex symbol. Now, that's sad. Now, after the tour, D'Angelo returned to his home in Richmond, Virginia, disappearing from the public eye. Several of D'Angelo's peers and affiliates have noted that the commercial impact of the untitled How Does It Feel music video and the Voodoo tour as contributing factors to D'Angelo's period of absence from the music scene. Now, his former music manager, Dominique Trenier, explained his disappointment in the music video's impact in a 2008 interview for Spin magazine. Trenier was quoted as saying that to this day, in the general populace's memory, he's the naked dude. Now, see, that's what D'Angelo was afraid of, too. Now, he knew doing the How Does It Feel music video was going to, be a little controversial. He knew, like, okay, people not really doing this, so I'm taking a huge risk by doing this. Now, he did experience some backlash from that or just felt a little low. But we, as the fans, on the other hand, we enjoyed it. We loved it. We knew what direction he was going in and we liked it. Now, D'Angelo didn't want to be known for like the naked dude. We're going to tap in on that as we move forward, okay? Now, according to tour manager Alan Lees, the experience took away his confidence because he's not convinced why any given fan is supporting him. This was after he did the How Does It Feel music video. Now, as his alcoholism escalated, plans for a live album and a Soultronic studio effort, both originally set for after the tour, were scrapped. And impatient, Virgin executives cut off funding for the expected 2004 solo album. So he was not getting, support, from his record label. So Virgin Records was not really supporting him. They were just hanging him out to dry like they usually always do. They were not supporting him. Now, here is some extra tea I want to add in, okay? We got to always add that controversy in there somewhere, but it's not really controversy, but I'm not saying it's controversial, but you're going to see why some people found it to be controversial. But these is not my words. These is the words of what people were saying, okay? Now, he dated soul singer Angie Stone for a whopping 3 years and helped produce her debut album, Black Diamond, in 1999. They do have a son named Michael D'Angelo Archer II. Okay, now born in 1998, D'Angelo has 2 other children, Imani Archer and Morocco Prince Archer. Okay, so he has dated Angie Stone and they were in love, And then the singer Angie Stone opened up about her relationship with D'Angelo and how the public criticized her weight. They body shamed her. How dare they do that? Now, Angie Stone was over 300 pounds at her heaviest weight. At the time, she was dating sex symbol D'Angelo. And that's funny how they say sex symbol because he didn't want to be labeled as that. And they shouldn't have been body shaming her. But anyway, who stayed by her side and supported her despite the public's negative response to their relationship? I told you, the public always got something to say. Even some of y'all in the comments be wilding out. But that's a whole different story. But that's just to say that I see y'all and I know what's up. You can't be negative like that. Now, this is in the words of Angie Stone. This is what she's quoted saying. Now, she says, when I was dating D'Angelo, he wore glasses, had short hair, and his pants were hanging down to his butt. Ooh, he was sagging, girl. Now, he was just a 19-year-old kid with big shorts, and nobody cared, and no one saw his beauty but me. That's real. And I told him, you are beautiful. I promise you, when your record drops, your lips are going to become famous. Your eyes, everything will become famous. She then went on to say, he couldn't see it because his self-esteem wasn't where it is today. He didn't even have an image. And his hair was really short, so I braided his hair with thread for his first album cover. It wasn't until Brown Sugar came out that people actually took a look at him and said, you know what, he's fine. Then all of a sudden, he's so fine, he shouldn't be with me. Woo, child. That was in the words of Angie Stone. Now, see, it's crazy how people just look at your relationship from the outside. They don't even know the inside. And they feel so quick to be like, D'Angelo fine. Why he with you, girl? You overweight. And see, that's really sad because it's like, you know, it's not a beauty. It's not a price tag. It's not beauty that you put on this. The fact is, Angie Stone was, you know, helping D'Angelo with his confidence. She was, you know, instilling in him that you are somebody and you're going to make it. You're going to be famous one day. Mind you, you know, she was already doing her thing. So it's really sad because, you know, D'Angelo didn't have the confidence, you know, and he really was kind of lost in a sense. But, you know, it took a down-home real sister to bring him up. And then people going to turn around and say, he too good to be with her? Y'all need to check yourselves. Now, Angie also said that they were so in sync with each other that they began to act like, you know how like you be with somebody and y'all just got the vibes going, y'all in sync, y'all can like read each other's like face expression. It was that real. Okay, now she goes on to say, when you're with someone, you become them. We started to become each other and pick each other's musical habits. So where he was in his life as an individual had a lot to do with how he expressed those songs. Angie had nothing bad to say about D'Angelo. In closing, she says, to set the record straight, you know she about to say something when they say that. When they say to set the record straight, they about to tell you something. Angie Stone was fed up. I'm going to let her tell you. I'm not going to be the one to tell you. So she said, to set the record straight, D'Angelo is a genius, and he doesn't need Angie or anybody to make him who he is. They were saying he had writer's block, but no. We was waiting for some more of that Brown Sugar music, okay? If you know what I'm saying, give me a knock, okay? Now, he was arrested in March 2010 behind the wheel of a Range Rover after police said he tried to pay $40, $40, y'all, for a sex act to an undercover officer posing as a prostitute. Now, that was wild. If anybody out there offering their goodies up for $40, make sure you run, okay? Now, D'Angelo released his third album, Black Messiah, in December 2014. Now, on February 14th, let's bring it forward, okay? Let's fast forward to just February 14th, Valentine's Day of this year, 2021. D'Angelo appeared on Instagram Live to announce that he would be performing at the Apollo Theater on February 27th, 2021, in cooperation with the American webcast Versus. Y'all know about the Versus on Instagram because it gets pretty wild on that. People really be in battle mode. Now, the event was billed as D'Angelo versus Friends and featured no opponents. Instead, D'Angelo performed a solo set with the shared performances with his peers and collaborators. D'Angelo also hinted that his fourth album would be released later in 2021. I can't say I'm not waiting for that. You know, I'm a huge fan of D'Angelo, and I want to just let D'Angelo know that we ain't forgot about you. They try to put a few little things on you and try to deem you as a bad person, but you know what? I still be rocking to that Brown Sugar. That's still my jam, you know. I always tell people, you know, when you want to get that confidence, go on and put that Brown Sugar on, because you already know when you got that Brown Sugar, you the one. I want y'all to, you know, check it out. Go check out D'Angelo, show him some love. And also, till next time, off another controversy coming from Controversies, I'll see y'all in the next video. Check it out and peace out.